when you get to the YouTube video,
Yeah.
you'll have to click on it. So click play, and then you'll have to click the full screen.
Oh, right.
And then you click
And then we have to share it.
No, it's already sharing. You'll just click play, click full screen,
Okay.
and then just click escape. If anything, I'll just come up with that.
Okay, cool.
Here you go.
Thank you. Do you guys hear me? Yeah. Hi, Brock. I never called you back. You are important. I care about you.
We can hear you on Zoom also.
Hi, Zoom. Better on this side. Should we get started? Yeah. Hey, glad you're all here. How are we doing today? What's going on? How is everyone? Okay, good. Sometimes I think I have to click on it. Don't know if that works. Okay, let's talk about this. I like this share the love thing that Tyler got going. Who has something nice to say about someone who, yeah. Kenya is a rock star. Tell us more. She saved her butt. Been out of town. It's the first time in 18 years I did not take my laptop. The end?
Yeah, I got to take a real vacation. Didn't take my laptop. It was
That is amazing. Good.
So thank you.
What part of your trip? Where'd you go?
I went to France, and that was cool. And I went to the top of the Eiffel Tower. And if anybody knows me, they know how terrified I am of heights. And I even went outside on the ledge where the wind blows through your hair.
Did you do the stairs?
Sure scares the crap
Did
out
you
of me.
take the stairs?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Thanks, Tanya.
Fun. Who else? Nobody did anything nice for you, and you didn't do anything nice for anyone else. Okay, let's do that this week.
Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what this is, but it's
Okay, I did a micro event Saturday. I did a sourdough bread class. I invited a lady in that teaches. So everybody paid for their spot and everybody showed up or got somebody else to attend. So everyone that was supposed to come actually came.
yay.
It was for my neighborhood. And so, that can develop relationships either way, right? So anyway, it was awesome.
Cool.
If you needed something positive.
That's great.
I love micro events. So I had one wasn't micro. I had a women's retreat for 2.5 days this weekend, but it's been fun because I've had some realtors and leaders and title people, and then people not in that industry, and a lot of connections are made. A lot of good things come out of that. And I've had clients come. So that's kind of my favorite thing. And I do that a couple of times a year, but my little micro event, kind of like Lisa's, was my daughter's teaching yoga and doing some breath work and sound baths. And I'm going to start doing little events with her probably every quarter, and just see, you can come and anyone's invited. But I think I like what Lisa's saying. The more we connect with the public, the more, and if our past clients come, we're still connecting with them, and they might bring friends, and it's just, finding people that have common interests. So it's been really fun. Okay, I got one more. This is hilarious, you guys. I have a new friend that's a coach for singles. We're having a huge singles event here tomorrow night, and there's 70 people that have paid an RSVP'd for. It's called Tacos and Trivia. And my husband and I are hosting it with the singles coach. She needed a location. And I'm like, well, no one I know is coming. So for me, I'm in front of 70 new people. And there's a Mexican lady that lives near here that would love to cater any of y'all's events. And she's doing all of our food. So anyway, if you see a lot of cars in the parking lot, it's a big mixer tomorrow night. Yeah.
Oh, Kenya, you missed it, but Lori shouted you out. You're so busy and you're such a hard worker and you have all your own stuff going on and you still took care of her business and she didn't bring her laptop, didn't even open it because of you. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Jake in the back of the room. As many of you know, I've been a little bit of a transition and he helped keep things organized together. He just built some chairs in my office too. So Jake's amazing. So thank you for Jake. And I wanted to make an announcement. Can I do that? Well, I'm waiting for the person to look at me and give me approval. Okay. So I just wanted to make a really quick announcement too. So as far as the coaching group is concerned, Nick has retired from coaching. So he loves it when I say that he's retired, but to take care of his team. And we have a new coach on our team and I'm super excited to announce her. So Miss Lori Erickson will be joining me in the coaching group with lots of experience, lots of sunshine, lots of fun new ideas. So we're just super excited to have her. So thanks, Lori. That's a big shout out for
Can
you too.
imagine somebody getting into the business and starting with these two? Come on. So perfect. Thank you.
Where's, up at the U, they have some tents there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top two.
Anybody else? Should we keep going? Okay, so Tina, Tina Hansen. Maybe we'll come back. She's not here quite yet. Okay. Alrighty. So do you guys know Joel Frost? He's an agent, KW Utah Realtors, but he's also a appraiser, and he has some CE classes that he teaches. I've been to a couple of them. They're really cool. So he's going to be coming on the 7th. That is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday 7th. So that'll be team meeting next week. Whether you need CE or not, this is a good time to ask him good questions because he's a good producer also. I say good a lot of times. I would ask him the questions that are on your mind right now. For example, the question that I'm planning to ask him is, how does he think if things change with our commissions and how people get paid, how that's going to affect his industry and stuff like that because of buyers potentially paying commissions and things like that. And if they see in their world.
So do you.
So come. Hey, if you're on Zoom, will you mute yourself? But let us know. Unmute yourself if you want to talk, or if you want to talk. Cue the dog. Okay. And then Red Day, Amy, come up and let's talk about this. Who's going? Do you remember last time we also were going? Oh. There's some people who are out of town, and I have these eyes diverted away from my eyes of people that aren't going. Try to come if you can possibly come. It's a powerful experience.
Want me to talk a little bit about it?
Well, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so our event this year is creating duffel bags for kids that are going into the foster system. So there are over 400,000 kids in the foster system in the US right now. And when they go into the foster system, the states issue them 2 garbage bags and give them 15 minutes to get their belongings together. So it's already a traumatic experience for them, turns into an even more traumatic experience. And we don't want these kids to feel like they are disposable, that they are garbage. So that is our project this year. We are going to be putting together 200, they're called sweet cases. All those boxes right outside the door, those are our supplies. They are here and ready to go. We will be customizing panels on the side of the duffel bags. They have all of the art supplies and creativity, so you can make these really cute, dinosaur, space theme, princess, whatever, that these kids get to put their stuff in. It also comes with a teddy bear, a blanket, a coloring book and crayons, and a hygiene kit for them to take with all of their stuff. So it's going to be really impactful. All 200 bags will stay local in our community once they're done. So this is going to be a really fun event. I need lots of people, 200 bags. It's starting at 9:30 at the Market Center. We're going to have breakfast and lunch provided.
We'll have t-shirts.
Got Red Day shirts. Just come
Oh yeah,
anytime.
just come whenever.
What I'm visualizing,
our
and we were going to update the QR code for this, is maybe doing like a morning shift and an afternoon shift. If you've got kids that want to come, family members that want to come, whatever, great. We've got 200 bags to decorate. That's a lot. Lisa? Yes. I will tell you.
Can you repeat the question for Zoom that Lisa asked?
Oh, the question for Zoom or for you guys is, are we still short on funds? Yes, but we are really close. So I'm really hoping that we can bridge that gap. Maybe even during team meeting. I mean, we're only about $600 short. So we are so incredibly close. Our Venmo is at KW South Valley. The 4-digit telephone code or whatever that they ask for, 9266. So we are super, super close to hitting the financial goal. That being said, that will completely wipe out. It's $30 per bag. Oh yeah, if everybody sent in 20 bucks, we would be there for sure.
I'm in a Venmo right now.
Awesome. No, I love it. I love it.
Amy,
We
can I add?
do mighty things when we pull together. So on the QR code, that you'll be getting in a newsletter today. It's on the Facebook page. If you don't see it, call me. I'll text it to you. You can sign up for coming. Let me know if you're going to be there in the morning or the afternoon so we can kind of break it up so we have enough space for everyone. But if you've got creative kiddos that want to come decorate some duffel bags, let's do it. Yeah. There's not an age limit. They just might need more supervision if they're littler, But it's going to be a lot of fun. The only restrictions that they have is you can't put anything religious on it or anything like we couldn't put Keller Williams on the outside of the bag. We can do anything else. You can also bring additional items. Let's say that as a family, you guys want to write little notes to a small group of foster kids. You can tuck notes into some of those bags with personal messages or other little items. You can bring those as well, as long as they're not religious.
Amy, I just want to throw out, I've been posting that graphic, which is on KW South Valley Agent Only Facebook, and we've got it in an email. And Andrea, you're here. You put a cute picture of yourself at the bottom of a different flyer. There's a couple flyers that Amy's made. So Andrea posted it. I've invited like 6 vendors to come, and they're all coming, and they're like honored to be part of it. They're like, wow, this is a neat project. So it's also would be super cool to send out to all of our clients.
Yeah.
Our past clients, just to let them know, hey, here's what we're doing. If you want to donate notes, time, or money, we'd love to have you. I mean, it is next week, but you know, it's just such a neat way
Next
to
Thursday.
connect with our database and say, we're doing something for the community. I've had a lot of people say that, like I have people I know that have adopted. There's people in our building that work here that have been foster kids that have had the garbage bags. And it's like, it touches more hearts than you think.
We're going to
So-
watch a video on it so you can see a little bit more. Thanks to Marcel, Marley, Andrea, Emily Hayes, Kimber, all donated right now. Thanks,
Woohoo,
guys.
guys. Thank you. I will sit down and donate.
Yeah, will you
again,
look? And
too.
at the end, let's put where we're at.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
kind of an
Venmo
end.
notices come through on my phone, so I can
Probably.
call through.
I don't
There
have
was
the
one more
actual
thing.
app on here. I'm just
I have it on my
should
phone,
still be
so
able
I
to
can
tell us. So
tell
we'll
you
see.
where we're at.
And for anybody else who doesn't.
There was one more thing. What was it? I had one more thing. Oh, yes, I remember now. So there are a few agents that have put this out on their personal pages or sent it to clients. I know Amber did. I know Robin did. I have gotten some Venmos from people that I don't know that are just general public that are probably people that saw it on your Facebook page. So just so you know, that is making an impact in helping.
Thanks. let's watch the video. And this is something that you can send out also to your people or post.
Nothing is ever the same.
I just pushed the wrong one, sorry. Why did I put it at the end? Sorry, guys. No, keep going.
Nothing is ever the same. Changing houses. Changing faces. Different bedrooms. Different beds. And this trash bag filled with everything I have. I don't want to feel alone anymore.
Help us show her she's not alone. Join us at Together We Rise to change the way kids experience foster care.
Eek. Thanks for those that brought this project. I think it's going to be a good one, yeah. And we will have shirts for you if you have one. Just that, that's great. Yeah. Okay, the link is posted on Facebook for that video. All right, let's go. Daylise, did you want to say something about this on Zoom?
Yeah, I'll just say that this is a great class for people that are interested or have clients that are interested in not just investing in rentals, but helping their adult kids invest in rentals. It's kind of the idea that they would go in together on a multifamily property, even if it's just a duplex, and their adult kids could live in it, or a condo even. And then the adult child would rent out rooms, to other students or other college age kids that in a duplex, they would, whatever age, that they could live in one side and then rent out the others and have those other people paying the mortgage. And then it becomes a win-win for both the adult children and the parents. And, how they split that investment might not even be 50-50. It might be, just the parents up with the down payment and then the kids making the entire mortgage payment with the help of their renters. So it's just a really good way of looking at investing and helping people maybe that wouldn't think traditionally about investing to be able to take a look at that and how they can do it as a combined family. And we've got some really good lenders that aren't just talking about it, but are doing it themselves. So it should be a really great class.
Cool, thanks. Did you guys go to the one last Monday with William Bustos and Josh Johnson and Justin? How'd you guys like
Yeah, that was great.
Do you remember William said that was his first property as he bought a duplex that he lived in, so it would pay his rent? That's the exact same thing as Ben Kinney. That's how he got started too. So it's a great opportunity to help young people that we know where to get started and help them. It's good. Thanks. Woo! Money is good for the good that money can do. Sweet. Okay, so now I don't know if Brant's gonna be here. Do we know? Oh no, he's doing a class. You guys, I am not totally. So we're getting a class on first-time home buyers and grants. This will be a good one. Good thing to talk about. A lot of first-time buyers have some questions right now because of prices, because of all this other stuff. So good opportunity on the 14th. He'll be here. And then Kimber, do you want to come talk about this? Okay, we gotta do our fast versions. Fast version. All of us.
Used to the fast version. So defining moments. This will break down if you guys came to customer experience, which was 4 hours. Who came to that and stayed for the whole 4 hours for CE? Good job. There was 6 of you, just kidding. There was like 15. We're going to deep dive into creating defining moments throughout the transaction. So we're going to be sharing content with you that's involved in that. This is how you RSVP. I am 91% sure that Brady Sandall is going to be zooming in on this class. So if you like percentages, that's also another bonus of the class. Okay, thanks.
So we're gonna teach you like have tools and stuff attached to your client's experience. One of the things we're talking about is like a texting campaign for your client's experience, right? Like how you can, when somebody's under contract, having a campaign with links and stuff that you text to them, that tells them about next steps and connects them with different things, how to get ready. So in a text campaign that you can schedule out in command for the process, things like that, right? So Jake? Brady Sandals. Brady Sandal he's over luxury for KWRI, and he's amazing. So his platform for his luxury really is that customer experience and how you level it up. So those of us who went to the class that Kimber taught, what's the difference between the platinum rule and the golden rule? Has nothing to do with Jesus. The golden rule is what? Treat others how you want to be treated. The platinum rule is treat others how they want to be treated. And so this is all about creating their experience for them in the way that they want it. It's about them. Okay? And then I think we're this. Nope. So let's just hurry and do it. So there's a lot of things that maybe you're not aware of that you have as an agent here already. I didn't know that we got the digital business cards. I just found that out today. Did you know that? Everyone gets a free digital business card. I have been here since 2015. Maybe that's why I don't know. So I just wanted to draw attention. I'll just go.
So the call to action is if you do not have a Blink account, you can email Barry and he will help you get set up with a Blink account. So this shows the process.
It's
you
so
go
awesome because it connects all this in here. So I've had Kimber in my phone, right? But I just
and it's on V2 already because that's how Sawyer rolls.
Yes, Sawyer. So right
Heck
here, you
yeah.
can see it's got all of her stuff in there. And then people can link to that. And so it updated the contact. I already had her in my phone, but it updated with all of her stuff. And then it also gathers their information.
And what's cool about this is that if they go update, so if I go and update my Blink, the person's, it will be linked. And so if I update contact information, the VCF, is that correct? Is that the correct term? I don't know. It's some term of that's how the contact card goes through.
So
Science.
As an agent here. So if you don't have that, like I don't have that, I'm going to email Barry right now and get it. Not right now. Cool.
Yay.
Okay, Splash Summit is coming up. That's a big event that we have every year. You should have got a couple emails today from Stephanie Farwell this morning about it. The cost for this is really reasonable. What is it? It's $8 a ticket, which is a significant discount if somebody were to go there. Yep, 2 rental, parking. There are even some agents that just do a discount and their clients pay for it. I don't know. It's up to you of how you want to do it. But we do have to collect that money ahead of time. So we will collect it from you, not the client. No, we're doing it with KW Utah Realtors. Just 2. It's too many to have 3. But the 2 brokerages is good. Yeah. It's so fun though. People love it. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, their hours changed or something. Yeah. Is there anything more that you want to talk about with this, Lisa?
Okay, so in that email, please use the updated one. The first one we sent, everybody would be editing the same invitation, which we don't want to happen. So there is, in the second one, the link for the invitations are editable, but you won't be editing the original invitation with that one. So use the one that says update because we sent the right link in there. It has the link to order tickets. It has info on how to pay. Really almost everything you need to know about Splash Summit is in there, including a link to, the rules at the park, what you can bring in, if you can bring food in. Kids under 3 are free. Could be 3 and under, so you should check the link, but I can put that out on the Facebook page. I also put a post on the Facebook page this morning with a link to ordering tickets. Sales are final on June 10th. We always sell more after that, though. We'd love to have you get them booked up prior so we are secure and are paying for the event.
Yeah. It'll be good for us to manage how many people have RSVP too, so it doesn't get out of hand, like Marley was saying.
Yeah, and
then
we
can
we are looking for
put a cap on
vendors
it.
that want to help sign in, so not so many agents are taking time to sign people in, but are able to visit with their clients too. And yes, please pay for yourself as well. You're part of the count that the park will be counting as we go in. Any questions on that?
Thank you for all your work on it.
You're welcome.
Seriously, appreciate it. Okay. I'm hiding from it. Thank you so much. Nope. I don't know. Okay.
Okay, V1 of the Home Hub is now shut down, so it'll now be V2. So if you sign in now, you'll need to create a new V2 account. If you haven't, V1 is no longer there. So if you do need anything from V1, come talk to me or let us know so we can add it to V2, but it should be good. And then, yeah, we just added like the little blink card. If you were at the class that Kimber taught, same thing, we're going to start having classes have their own little pages. So you go attend a class, you can actually go to V2 and then see all the resources, but everything will now be moved over to V2.
And this is what it looks into. So I don't remember what I was saying. This is what you see when it tells you to create a new one. You don't have to get approved for it though. You just create a login and then I'll take you right to it.
Yep. So
Is that it?
Yep. Yeah. You will need to create a new account. So if you had a V1, you'll still need to create a new V2 account.
It's worth it. It's all updated, new and improved. All this stuff is linked on there. Thanks. Okay, so Mega Camp is coming up. They still have the early bird. It's August 12th to 14th. This is one of my favorite KW events. If you haven't gone, or if you need like a little bit of a boost, it's a good one to go to. Okay, so then also, did you guys see the email that Barry sent out yesterday? The newsletter? Yeah, you saw it, Em? So we have 2 new ways that we're communicating. So we're trying to be, instead of having so many different emails come out, we're condensing it all into one email. So you'll be getting that on Mondays. And it's the newsletter that has all the information. Part of that is this link tree. And this link tree is how we organize all of the different connection pieces, right? The connection points. So from the link tree, you can get into the calendar, book a conference room, talks about parking, a whole bunch of different things in there if you need a reminder. And then, yeah. Oh, it's twice. There you go.
Well, there's also cards at the front desk with the QR code on it if you want.
Perfect. So we're going to be communicating through that. So it's a really good thing to be watching out for. Did you guys get this? Am I good to go for it? And this is the newsletter. So what the newsletter is going to have is different, lots of different contacts and information in there. And we'll have a video every week from the AOC leadership, that kind of stuff with things happening. That's where we'll have the links for the awards. So if you want to get in and post your award, really just kind of the central spot for all the information. Every Monday that's coming out. We'll have the link to the team meeting from the previous week in there. Some FAQs. So if it's Saturday night at 11 o'clock and you're having a printer issue, we got it all in there. So you just click that. Also through the link tree, you can click that and you can easily get what you need to fix the printer, all that kind of stuff. Yes.
We're currently updating like the frequently asked like questions on the link tree. So it's growing right now. If you have any suggestions, please just email me or Barry so that we can know, so we can make the link tree as like, I don't know, as useful for you agents as it can be. So.
But save in your phone this phone number, 801-258-0266. That is our KWSV phone number that you can text. So when we send out a text message, so it didn't go today, it was the traditional one, the previous one today. But going forward, it'll be from this phone number, and it's a two-way text, so you can text us back on it, and we'll respond back on that. So save it in your phone as KWSV, KW South Valley. We're not spamming you, we're just giving you valuable information. Alrighty, Kay, I'm so excited to have our friends, Todd and Emily. Come on up. Can we get the other mic? What is it? What is the QR code? Oh, got it. The name is Amy. Okay, cool. Okay, so we asked these guys to come and talk today because of just the incredible business they have, incredible humans they are, and they're always willing to help and contribute. And they're part of a big nationwide company. Is it like a company, or is it more like a?
So Place basically is an agnostic real estate technology company
Yeah.
that's meant to help teams with leverage and help support growth and accountability.
Got it. Okay, cool. Thanks. And so I want to hear from them. I'm going to ask questions, but you just like roll. Don't wait for me. About kind of like your business journey and kind of where it started. So I first met Em when I started. She had been there for about 6 months. She'd been an agent for about 6 months when I started, and I still remember that first year. So it was 2015. So you got licensed late 14?
Like January 2015.
Oh, it was
This is
just
when I
January.
started.
Oh, so it was only like 4 months before.
Yeah, the broker and the team leader left right when I joined, and then everybody in my Ignite class quit. So it's just me and Nick. Thank God for Nick.
Yeah, Nick. Wow, that's crazy. And I just remember you saying like, I'm going to do 12 deals this first year, and then the next year it was 19, and then just like every single thing that you've hit and transitioned and changed and then grown, and then brought this in. So I want to hear about your journey for sure. And we marketed it as how to really blow up your business in the next 12 months. And something that's unique about you guys too, I wouldn't say unique, but a strong point about you is that you just have had continuous steady growth. It's crazy. It has not been really affected by market conditions or things like that. And so I want to talk a little bit about like your daily routine, your weekly routine, your goals, who your valuable team members are, like even in terms of things that you use, like tricks, if there's a photographer that you love or whatever that is, right? Like different things like that that you've found that have helped you. And then we'll also like get questions from everyone here. So tell us your journey.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you guys for being here. I know everybody's really busy, so I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys. So I started in 2015, and my first year, my dad's in real estate in DC, who's a real estate broker. So, but I never worked there. I did it all, kind of moved to Utah 13 years ago. I had my work crew, like people that I worked with at my last job, and like people in my neighborhood. But essentially when I started in real estate, I didn't have like that huge lifelong network of people. So joining Keller Williams, my biggest aha when I started here was reading the Red Book. So if you haven't read The $1 Million Real Estate, or is it Millionaire Real Estate Agent? It really changed my mindset from being a real estate agent, which my dad had been a broker of real estate agents, to being a real estate business. And that was something that changed from the very beginning. Even before I started real estate, I just said, okay, I'm going to be a sales agent. But then when I started to open up my eyes, reading the Red Book and being part of Keller Williams, that's when I decided I wanted to grow a business and look at this differently. So my first year, I basically went right into it, kind of trying to absorb as much information as I could, talking to our broker and our team leader left at the beginning. So I relied on a lot of seasoned agents in our office, like Claire Gunn, Mike Carmody. I had a lot of mentors. I would say if I could give one piece of advice to everybody, don't be afraid to reach out to people that have experience in the industry and become friends with them, ask questions, like don't be intimidated. I think that was helpful that I was kind of forced to because there was no, like I had to build those relationships up front.
It is kind of like one of the things I noticed about you too is that you're a very curious person. So you're still today very curious. So you're still wondering what's working. You're still asking questions. You're still looking out there. And I'm sure that helps you just being curious about your clients, like really bonding with them, really trying to understand who they are and what they need. And that's grown like your network of your database and your people and your repeat business is insane.
It's been really good. So I'll tell you kind of my numbers, and then I want to kind of tell you quickly like some of the challenges we've had, and then like be a little real. Is that okay? Okay. So so I started in 2015, sold 17 deals. My goal was 3 million. So I was like right at that point. Think about 17 deals now. Different market. But it sold 3 million, and Todd lost his job. His company
not lose my job.
company folded.
He says it all the time.
He didn't lose his job.
It makes like a more compelling story.
No. Yeah. So, but
You would imagine.
no, his company was a startup, so it folded and ran out of money. So he lost his job, employment in September. I was doing real estate full time. At that point, we're like, I don't have a choice if this is going to succeed or not. Another thing I would recommend to everybody, don't have a fallback plan. If you're going to do this, you better go into it with the attitude of this is going to work regardless. Like it's going to work. We're going to make this work. And that's going to put you in your right mindset to be successful. So I got really busy. So things were going well. I got busy and I sort of dragged Todd into helping me for a few months. He went back to do coding school. He got a job. That job, the guy was a weirdo, let's be honest. So he's like, I would rather work with you. And so we started working together in 2016. And then by like the spring, I was like, you better get your license. I need help. It was hard. So I think the second year I did 40 deals, and that was insane and a lot. And so without having the leverage and help, I would have lost my mind. And
So what's your team at that point, that second year?
It was just the two of us.
Did you have TC? Were you using?
We didn't yet, but we hired our.
Oh yeah, you kind of did more of that side.
And it did like husband and wife team. It worked because we figured out how to make it work by dividing our roles, but it was a little rough, I'll be honest, for the beginning.
The deal was I would join, but I would never do any sales. Like just keep me in the background. I'll do the contract to close work. I'll do the operations work. I'll do the technology, but I do not want to make a single cold call. I do not want to go because I had a career in sales prior and I hated it. I was miserable. So that was kind of the deal I made with Emily. If I was going to do this, this is what we were going to do.
So fast forward, we're doing our thing. We had a good 2016. We're kind of steadily growing. The way that I'm doing that is through what the Red Book has taught me: grow your database, meet people, like constantly be adding people to your database. So I did like probably 200 coffee dates with random strangers on the internet, or people I met in networking groups. For the first 2 years. Like it was really intense. That was the way I chose to grow my business. Now it's not for everybody, but you have to find a way.
Yeah.
We met open house and she came in as a lender and I reached back out and yeah, we became friends, and then you became real city. That's funny. So yeah, so open houses, all the kind of activity. The thing I didn't do at the time was cold calls. I didn't really know how. I didn't feel comfortable with it, so I just did a lot of other things. And we're moving along. We get an admin. Totally do not handle it right. Do not train them right. Like, it's sort of like you hire out of the desperate need of needing some support, but without having a real process behind it. So I think we went through like two admins that just wasn't great, and I would probably put that on us. And then in 2020, we were kind of at the point where we were wanting to start to grow, because here's like the full disclosure.
So I will say, so we kind of reached a point, and Emily decided to invest in herself. So we, which was a big turning point for us, is we decided, Emily went to When Make Give, which was a Ben Kinney event. And he was offering his masterclass. So Emily,
the one in Bellingham, right?
Yeah.
That we went to.
and Emily called me and she said, I want to do this.
Yeah.
She told me the cost. I puckered. But I told her, you know what, I trust you. And if you think this will benefit us or you in the long term, let's just go ahead and, because sometimes you just have to invest in yourself at some point and some time for your own learning. And it was probably the best decision we ever made, because we were able to go into rooms with huge thinkers. And for me, it was a turning point because I'm not sure if any of you know Ben Kinney. He can be very harsh. He made me stand up and he made me cry because he at that point, my mindset was, hey, I'm going to get out of the business. Eventually, Emily will be able to hire someone to replace me, and I'll go off back to the coding or whatever world. And so Ben stood me up and he said, either be in or be out, but what you're doing to this lady is unfair. Like, you're being unfair to her. So you have to make that decision. And I don't care what the decision is, but be a man and make one. I was like, oh, this is not ready to do it. So, but for me though, that's when there was clarity, because for me, I'll be honest, there was not a shame, but I'd never wanted to call myself a real estate agent, right? Because of our awesome Q rating out there. But that's when I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I have to do it. And so that's when I went all in. And I think the very next year we doubled our production, simply because I was not playing the half in, half out game. So, and then that is where we also got the desire, because we've done a lot of business. And so it was like, okay, what's next? What's our next area of growth? And in talking to the coaching and everything, that's where the idea of the team came about, was because one, we wanted to help others. And two, it also helps us with our own personal growth and career growth. And so that's kind of the trajectory that started us down the path.
That's so cool. Yeah. So now tell us about your team. Tell us about your production.
Okay, so our team, let's see, in July last year, we had 4 team members. Right now we have 11 team members, plus me is 12. So we've kind of tripled the size of our team, which has been really actually weirdly easier to have a larger team than it is to have a smaller team. So that is one thing we figured out. And by joining the company that we joined Place, we got a lot of back end support. And one of the things that they really, really stress is called productivity rhythms. So prior to joining, we were encouraging people to make calls. We were, saying the things, but we weren't implementing in the way that we needed to. And so what our focus has been for the last 6 months, and I think what's really propelled us forward in our business this year, is just focusing on productivity rhythms and what that means. So
yeah, what does that mean?
So as an agent who's been in it for a while, my productivity rhythms weren't super great. I would basically, I don't know if you can relate to this, but have a lot of energy and go on something and just burn out. It was like, go, burn out, go, burn out. And I kind of lived in that cycle for probably about 6-7 years. And what I have kind of had my eyes open to is a couple things. One, The idea that us as real estate agents, that we can't be consistent, that we can't live on a schedule, that we can't have a morning routine is all BS. We tell ourselves these things because that's how we want to have a flex schedule and live our lives freely. But truly my biggest joy that I found in the last little bit is like having more routine and schedule has actually helped me, and I'm a lot happier because of it. So I'm going to just challenge you guys who are in that mindset to rethink that.
So to go along with what the actual rhythm is every morning our team, we jump on Zoom at 8:45. So we do script practicing from 8:45 to 9. From 9 to about 9:30, we do some type of training, whether it's a sales training, a market update training, or a mental health mindset training. We do that from 9 to 9:30. We then stay on Zoom from 9:30 to 11:30 for 2 hours. So we make our calls together. So in that case, if someone has a problem or an objection, or they want to hear how another person's handling the call, we can unmute ourselves, and there's still that community. And then every Wednesday, we actually meet here in person to kind of have that team energy go. And so what we're trying to do with that is we're trying to set the rhythm of the day. We have a very simple lead gen model that we follow. It's work your sphere, do your open houses, and do prospecting. If you hit those three constantly, you really should be able to do 1 to 2 deals a month. And so with the prospecting piece, it's what you're good at. Like Emily hated cold calling, but she supplemented that with door knocking, networking, and things like, you just have to think about, if I'm not going to be calling 50 people, how do I replace those 50 dials with a way to get those people into my database?
And so what is the goal with that? So you're doing, I know one of the things that you did too in the beginning is you promoted other people's businesses a lot. So she did a lot of B&B, which I hadn't seen anybody doing business to business in that way for real estate, which was really cool. So when you're doing this stuff and you're prospecting, what is your goal with that?
So with my database, and I imagine a lot of you guys in this room have been in this for a while, you have a large database of people that you probably don't keep in touch with very well. So what I am doing, because I am still in personal production, so I'm going through and I've got my hot, watch, and nurture. So my hots are like my current hot clients or people that are going to be transacting soon. My nurtures are people that are maybe going to transact this year, and watches are further out. So I have a system where I will follow up with my hots once a week. So kind of check in with those people, follow up with my nurtures once a month, and then with my watches probably once every few months. And then I've got my whole other database that the goal of my calls in the morning is to be cycling through to try to reach everyone every quarter. Now, am I perfect at that? Absolutely not. I am not perfect at that. The other thing too, I feel like it's easy sometimes for us to go out and get a lot of leads and go to do open houses, but the follow-up is a big problem. So we have like it's called our Brevity Top 10, but you can use it for any system that you use. So like in Command, we go through and we look at every morning our tasks. So tasks are associated with every single lead that we have, a follow-up task. So we're checking to see the task. So I do that first. Then I'm going into new. Who are all the new people in my database that I need to categorize? And then after that, I have unqualified. So people that I'm trying to get a hold of, those new leads, but you haven't had a chance to connect with them yet. And then I'm going to look at people who are checking our neighborhood nurture and market reports, or people that have been on our website. So we've got a system of I don't have to think about who I'm calling every day. I already wake up and I know that. And that's been super, super helpful.
So you have the system already set up around first have people to talk to. Then you are talking to them in specific ways. That's what Ben Kinney, one of the things he just said on one of those things is you have to have enough people to talk to.
So basically real estate comes down to 3 things. It's, do you have enough people to talk to? Are you saying the right thing? And are you saying it enough times? Right? So a good team or good brokerage can always help you with 1 and 2. It's the third one, following up enough times. That's what separates kind of, the cream from the crop. Because I think, one of the very first live events I went to, Josh Stern taught, and he was talking about sometimes it takes up to 25 follow-ups with a new lead, internet lead, before you could talk to them.
Yeah.
Most agents stop after 2, 3, or 4, right? So one of my new favorite phrases is fortune is in the follow up, because that is where you're going to get, that's where you're going to find your business.
So how sometimes we're afraid to do that. Why are we afraid to do the follow up and keep calling? It seems annoying, right? Yes.
Yes. So I totally get that. And it's like, honestly, I had fear of calling even my own database up until I started the team, and I was like, I better step up and show them how to do this and be doing it with them and get over myself. So that's honestly been within the last year that I've gotten over myself about it. And I think part of that was 2022 when we're like, holy crap, are we going to survive this? I got to pay my bills. So that kind of pushed things too. People only need you when they need you. I have clients that will ignore me for 4 or 5 years. I call them, I text them, I thought we were buddies, and they will not respond to me. And then I will get an out of the blue call or an out of the blue text that says, thanks for following up with me all these years. We totally need your help. You're the best agent. I don't know if any of you guys have had this experience, but you have to remember that you have to be the one to be in touch with them when they need you. And if we're not consistently following up, somebody else will slide in that role. So don't worry about it. Would you ever be upset if like your dentist or I don't know, maybe not a dentist, but like your friend just checked in every couple months to say, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to invite you to a party or whatnot. Yeah, I do actually. Around client events is a huge one.
So it shows scientifically, it shows that basically people will forget you every 15 to 21 days if you don't remind them. So what are you doing to get back to your database or your top people every 14 to 21 days to remind them, hey, I'm a real estate agent? So, one of our auto plans is the best way for, we always post our social media stuff, but sometimes the best way to do that is to actually connect with them, not just like a thing, but go into one of their posts and then comment on it and say, hey, congratulations, this is amazing. Because if they respond back to you, now the algorithm's like, oh, these people know each other and they're actually talking. The other thing is you can actually take social media offline. If someone like has graduating, right? Because we're coming to graduation, you can see that and then physically call that person and say, hey, I just saw your post on Facebook that your daughter's graduating. That's amazing. You must be so proud, right? Because now you're then taking that offline and reestablishing that connection. The thing with social media is just to remind people that you're out there. And I know Emily is begging for the microphone over here. So yeah.
And the people I just call that bonus. That is icing on the cake. I wouldn't use that as your every 21 days. Get people on a listing alert or a neighborhood nurture. That way they're getting an email from you every 2 weeks. So they're going to be seeing that, or a text campaign or something. But those calls are imperative to be able to ask for the referrals. When you get people on the phone, you have to ask at the very end, hey, before I go, let me ask you, or I just wanted to ask, who do you know that's thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate that I can help? So if you're not asking that question, then you're missing that opportunity. If you're not making the calls, you're missing that opportunity. And you're also not going to know, like I called someone the other day. In fact, it's just reminded me. His mom passed away and he needs to sell his house. And so I've been following up with them forever just because he wanted to invest in something and never got back to me. And he's like, thank you for calling me. You caught me at the right time. I really was thinking about calling you. So there's just so many times where no one picks up and you feel like a loser, like you're just trying and trying and trying. Just know it's not you, it's all of us, right? But ultimately, if we just can set aside those 2 hours a day and really protect our mornings and give ourselves the time to do prospecting and also the follow-up, because that's so important, I think that's going to set everybody up for success. And what I'd also recommend, if you're not part of a team already, create a pod or group of people that are committed to doing it together and do it on Zoom together. Maybe you don't want to leave your house, but if you can show up for each other in the mornings on a Zoom call and you can sit for 2 hours and other people are doing it, so it's going to like propel you to do it, I think that has been really helpful for accountability for myself personally, and I think for my team as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think I do have, you've got to think about if you wanted to double your production, where is that going to come from? And figuring out, do you need to increase the amount of open houses you're doing, door knocking, like what also tracking your numbers is really helpful. I'm also like a salesperson, I'm not a numbers person. But one thing we're doing now is we're tracking all of our calls through our database. So we know how many calls it takes to get an appointment, how many appointments it takes to get a closed contract. And then from there, we can work backwards. So if we know it takes 10 appointments to get a closed deal or whatever, then we need to be getting X amount. And so I think if you can start right from the beginning and don't be like me and have 8 years of no information because you didn't track it, but start by really dialing that in and making that as part of your process, you're going to find it, your life's going to be a lot easier on the back end.
We track through our CRM Brivity. So every one of our team members, they get a Brivity phone number, which is just a routing number. So when they make calls through that, it automatically logs the calls, but they can then go back in at like the end of the day, and any calls they made on their own number, they can manually add those into them. So it tracks the calls, the texts, it tracks appointments. If my team is doing it properly.
She is.
So, but the other thing, in terms for that is I think there's this big fallacy where everyone's like, I have to go buy leads, I have to go buy leads, I have to go buy leads. And it does help, but really, if you just go back to the basics, work your sphere, work open houses, do prospecting, right? It's boring, but boring wins every single day from the shiny new toys. Everyone who put all of their money on Zillow, Zillow is going away because of all the changes that are coming in. So if you've never learned how to prospect, there's gonna be problems for
Now,
you.
I have a question too. Go ahead, but I have a question. I was just going to ask you how you're handling like the NAR stuff, like the commissions, if that's come up with your clients and what your message is.
The very first day that it happened, I had like a panic attack, like we all did, right? But ultimately, we're really lucky in this state is that we've already had buyer broker agreements. We should already be explaining the commissions as the 3% is typically paid by the seller. We can negotiate that into the contract if it's not. However, this is something that is this buyer's responsibility. They are signing that. They've been signing it for years. So we have buyer presentations. We do a buyer sit down information session for all of our buyers that we meet with. And that is the opportunity where we get to go through the contract and prove our value and talk through that. So if you're not doing a buyer consult, like that's, I think, kind of overcoming that is the buyer consult. And ultimately, like people still need representation. They don't want to work with a listing agent on their own, and the listing agents don't want to work with random buyers. So yeah, I think, and Tina, you tell me, do you feel like pretty okay with it, or do you feel nervous, or? Okay.
Paying the buyer's agent is actually a marketing cost for you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and when you're talking to your buyers, you go through that part in the buyer broker agreement and you say that this is usually paid by the seller. But what's going to happen maybe is that some of this is going away, and then we just need to talk about it. And I think that what everybody's getting wrong is we need to look that up before we go out. So I know, and so my buyers know before we actually go and look at a house, right? And I've already had that happening once, and my buyer just said, I don't think this is fair. Let's not go look at it. So it's just, it's just a way of dispersing the money and how it's all about communication.
A good client will understand your worth and be willing to pay you. Right. So when we go into a listing agreement, always set with whatever your commission you want. And you can have a tiered system. I know Kenya has a really good one, and you can present that. The one question you can ask then is, okay, this is my commission. The only thing left we have to ask is how much, if any, would you like to offer a buyer's agent? But let me tell you why. For example, NAR has let us know 85% of all homes were sold via a buyer's agent. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to grow our potential pull list to get multiple offers to get you the highest price. The best way to do this is if I take some of this out, if we allocate some of this resources to go towards offering a commission towards that.
Yeah, cool, helpful. What are some last words? Like, what would you want to end on?
So, two things. One, ask for the appointment. Guys, if you are wasting your time at an open house and you're not going in there with the intention of getting an appointment, you're wasting time. You have your best opportunity for an appointment when you are on the phone with someone or face to face. And if you are messaging with somebody on Facebook or something, get them on the phone. Like, hey, let's have a quick call. So if you can just kind of have that in your mindset of I am here to get an appointment, that's going to be your highest and best use. The other thing is consider that consistency is not like a ball and chain around your neck, right? It is something that can be really freeing, and finding people that you can work together to find consistency and create those kind of, like I said, productivity rhythms. So like morning routines, prospecting routines that we can implement in our day, I think is going to make your life so much better instead of being on the, oh my gosh, I don't have any business. I'm going to panic. I'm going to be stressed. And then I'm going to do all these things and then I'm going to crash. And I have dealt with depression my whole time in real estate. And that part kept me, I think, from growing a team earlier because of the consistency I was worried about. Therapy, really good therapy helped me. And I haven't had a depressive episode for 2 years. So it can happen. But my point is you're not alone. We're all here to support each other. You've got amazing brokerage behind you. We've got amazing people in our brokerage. Everybody on the ALC is always here to help. But get out of that idea that you're just not that person who does this thing. That's the excuses. You just got to be around the people that are helping you create those habits and things like that. That was one.
Love it.
So for me, it comes down to real estate is really, as real estate agents, we have two jobs. One is to get our client, once we get a client under contract, steer them through safely to the end so they can buy the home. The other one is then finding the new clients, right? And so one of the best pieces of advice that I've heard is, a very successful agent says, I don't go home until I at least made one appointment, right? Because that's his job. If he wants to make money, have a predictable business, he has to have a pipeline of appointments. So he'll call and make that until he does. Or, have those 10 conversations or whatever the numbers you need to do. Because if someone goes door knocking for 5 hours and they don't ever get one piece of contact, they just wasted 5 hours, right? So it's better because that's the whole point, is to get people's contact information to start the nurture process. So whenever you guys do any type of prospecting, that should be the point. Don't do busy work to say, hey, look how great I am, I'm busy. Because then at that point, you're just tricking yourself to thinking you're busy and you won't have that predictable business. Consistency leads to predictable business, which then can help everyone grow, because then as you grow, eventually the momentum is going to get there, and you're going to have to learn how the next step will then learn leverage and how can I grow my business even more.
Yay. Thanks so much, you guys. I appreciate you. We're super lucky to have you. Thanks. And I'm sure you'll be around for a sec if people have questions. Okay, so last thing, we got some food, you guys. We have lunch, and we have Tina Hansen. You want to come up? Oh, come on up, everybody. These guys are from M&M Property Management. Here's a mic. Thanks, they brought M&Ms.
Yes, it's afternoon now. How's that? A little better? Great. So as she said, I'm Brad Harper and this is Tina Hansen. We're with M&M Property. Some of you guys know Tina. We are property managers. And so we are here to talk a little bit about what we do, but mostly about what we can help you guys do in your industry. I'm a licensed agent as well, but I focus on property management. So I know what you guys go through. I know the ins and outs and how hard it is to find clients and keep them. Most people know one or two agents or maybe more. It's Utah. Everybody's licensed, it feels like. So, how do you make yourself stand out from other people? And it's the knowledge that you have, the experience you have, and the people right? And so we're hoping to be one of those arrows in your quiver and just be another asset that you guys have to be able to be rock star agents and to be able to stand out and help your clients perform and accomplish their goals. And so oftentimes if you have someone that maybe has a second home and they're not really wanting to part with it, they want to keep it, but they don't know what to do. We'd love to be that asset to help them evaluate what it could rent for and to go through the process so they don't get scary tenants that are going to destroy their home and have it lose its value. So if they ever do go back to sell it, they don't have to dump a bunch of money into it and go through all of that. We want it to be a valuable asset for them. And so that's one thing that we'd provide for you. In here, we have our M&M promissory pledge. And so if we get a client from you that has a home they want to rent temporarily, we often see that somebody might serve a mission. And so they're not looking to sell their home, or they go out of state for work for a little while and they want to come back. They want their home to be in good condition, and we can be that asset for you. And sometimes they'll move and decide, hey, we like it in Texas or wherever they end up and they want to sell their home. Then at that point, we would refer them back to you so that you can help them be the real estate professional and take advantage of that relationship that you have and you've already developed with them to be able to sell their property. So a lot of times we'll get real estate agents that will be talking to a client that would like, I don't know how much it'll rent for. We could help provide a free rental analysis just the way that you guys do for your sellings and for the property sellers. And so we can provide that for you and help you. And then they can decide what's best for them. Most of the time from what I've seen, they usually do sell the property, which is good for you, but then you just look better so that you've helped them explore all of their options. And then they know, hey, if that's the only amount of rent we can get for it, it might not cover our expenses or our mortgage. So maybe we need to sell. And if that's the right choice for them, we're very happy for them in that aspect. And we're here to be able to help support you and support them and what they do. So our office is in Sandy. We manage property from Bountiful to Orem and try and focus in that area so we can properly manage them. Rental comps for any properties, really much from Payson to Layton, kind of up to Ogden. So if you have anyone in that area that's just curious on what a property is, and especially what I love to help with is if you have a client that's wanting to buy an investment property and they want to know how much it's going to rent for, we can help them evaluate that so that you can make the sell and they'll be comfortable and confident in that. Had someone in Bountiful a couple years ago that bought a home and their agent, I don't remember what brokerage it was, but they were promised that they could rent it for $2,200 or higher. And we pulled the rental comps, and the highest any homes in that area were renting for 1,800. And so we couldn't rent it for that price, and then they were stuck with a property. So I felt bad that they had an agent that didn't know what they were doing and sold them into a property they were stuck in. And so we want to help you avoid those kind of situations. We want to be an asset for you and to help you in what you do and just make you guys look great. And so if you have any questions or anything, we'd love to always help you. You can reach out to us and we can help you guys with any questions you have on evaluating a property like that, or even give you a second set of eyes on the market value if it's a kind of a different property. So yeah, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Bye. Oh, question.
So I work with a lot of investors that kind of like those rental analysis. Do we work with like a specific agent with you guys, or like do we just kind of like, is there a specific person that I'll always reach out to and work with? Or? Okay. Cool.
Anybody have any other questions?